Hi everyone, Sandra Vale from Homesteading Ways, and today I'm going to show you how to save the seeds from the 3 most common vegetables that people grow in their gardens. The first thing I'm going to go over is bush beans. These are the absolute simplest. All you do is leave them on your plant until they get old. You know, they're bulged up and they're old, like this. Or you can bring them in the house once they're overly, mature with the bulging and you don't want to eat them. And you want to take these off, one of your best producing plants too. And let them just dry on your counter. And once they're really dried up like this, they're all wrinkly and everything, you just break them open and pop out the beans. The beans themselves will already be dry. Very simple, easy to do. And I think most bush bean will have 3 to 4 seeds depending on the size. This one had 4. No, actually 5, so that's really nice. One. There's another. There's another. Wow, I'm lucking out. Whoops. Have to pick that one up. So I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 seeds out of 2 pods. So save a few of them and you'll have plenty for next year's planting. But let's move on to the next vegetable. Okay, the next one is peppers. Now this is a really big bell pepper, but it's the same thing for sweet peppers and hot peppers. You want to wait till your peppers are fully matured. And for most of them, that will mean they turn a bright color. Red, orange, yellow. Green is immature, and you don't want to use green peppers in most instances, but look at your specific variety of peppers first. So you get one that's fully matured, and see it's almost wrinkling, and that's when it's really a perfect time to get the seeds out. All you do is cut your pepper in half here. Try and avoid the middle of it, like I kind of didn't right there, and you're just gonna pop these seeds right out. I put mine on wax paper. That way they don't seem to stick as bad. Sometimes they'll stick to paper towel, or I might use just a plain dish, a plate that you would eat for supper. Now if you're only doing 1 or 2 peppers like this, you don't need to wash them, you don't need to do anything. If you were doing a lot of peppers, which I've never done myself, but I've heard that you cut the peppers up into a few pieces, put some water in the blender, and just lightly blend it, pulse it, so that you can separate the flesh of the pepper from the seeds. The seeds will sink down to the bottom, and then you can easily scoop them out after you get everything else out. So this is all I'm doing here, is I'm just, putting all the seeds right there on the wax paper to save them for next year. And these will dry usually in less than a week. You can get them a little more separate and just single like this. Flatten them out so they're not lying on top of one another, and they'll dry a little bit quicker that way. And that's all you have to do. Wait till they dry, and then you can use them for storage for next year. Now last but definitely not least is the tomato. I've been saving seeds from this particular variety for a few years now because I just love this tomato. It's a great size, it's not too big, not too small, it has a beautiful color, and they pretty much all come out this uniform size. They're great for canning, and it's just overall a wonderful tomato to work with. So you wait until it's vine ripened like this, very, very ripe. And that's when you're going to grab your seeds from your best plants. And you want to take your best tomato, of course, too. Well, I'm not going to get this off. It's kind of stuck. Oh, there we go. And what you're going to do is, you're going to cut it down the middle here. You see here where all your seeds are. You're going to scoop those seeds out. And you're going to need a glass or a jar to put the seeds in. I already added water. You can do it before if you want. It's not a big deal. And you just get the seeds out and you put them in the jar or your glass with as little pulp as you can, but if you get some in there, it's really not a big deal. So you're just scooping all these little seeds in there. And the reason for the water is what you need to do to properly save tomato seeds is you need to get that little gel covering that surrounds each seed off of there. Because that will keep your seeds from trying to grow. And it'll keep them from bacteria and fungus. I'm looking to see if there's more seeds in here. You may have to cut them more than once if you're not seeing a whole lot of seeds. Trying to get this so you can see it better. Just scooping in there. You can still use these tomatoes. Wash them just a little bit. If your hands aren't the cleanest, well, I would hope they are if you're doing this, but just keep gently scooping them into the water. And once you have them all in there, you're going to let that sit for anywhere, I'd say between 2 and 5 days. Kind of depends just, on your tomato and on the heat of your kitchen and the humidity. Because what's going to happen is after those few days, the tomato, the seeds will separate from the flesh here and sink to the bottom. And sometimes on the top, you might see, a little bit of fungus, some kind of maybe not good looking white stuff floating up there, and that's okay. It's supposed to be there. That's what's helping to get the gel away from the seed. And every day when you have it in your water here, you're going to swirl it around or even take a spoon or something and stir it. I'd say once or twice a day. But once you have them all in here, you're going to either put a lid on your jar, and you don't have to put it tight, just put it on there, or you can cover this with plastic wrap. And I have some that I started a few days ago so I could show you. Here, it's from 2.5, 3 days ago. I'll see if I can get you to, you can see in here, everything has gone to the bottom. Okay, now once you've gotten it to the point, like here, you just start pouring it off. You can add some water in there. And see how some of the flesh, the pulp is in there, mixing in with the seeds. Just rinse them, and then you can kind of separate the pulp a little bit in here from the seeds. The pulp will go through this sieve. You can do this right in the glass and just, keep removing the pulp. And then we're going to transfer these. Okay, the seeds are really wet. We're going to put them out here on this wax paper. You can use, just a plate, or you can use a paper plate if you like. I don't seem to have good luck with paper plates myself. They tend to stick on there a lot. For me at least. Put that down. And I'm going to try and separate these as best I can. You know. But as the days go by, they'll dry out. And these little bits of pulp you see still stuck on there, they'll come right off. They won't stick on the seed. And right here, that's probably a bad seed. If you find one, just pull it out off to the side there. And this is all you got to do for tomatoes. Once they're dry, you know, make sure they're separated fairly well. All of these seeds you can pretty much store the same way. Once all your seeds are dry, you can put them in an envelope, a paper bag, a jar, seal it up, and put it somewhere cool and dry. Cool, dry, and dark, actually. And save them then until next year, next season. I put mine in a box in the bottom of a closet, and it's worked fine like that for years. Some people use the fridge. Just, you know, find out what works good for you. Well, I appreciate you watching the video, taking the time to do it. Please comment and subscribe. That would be great. It was really nice talking to you. And you take care.